Yeah, so welcome everybody to the webinar. So thank you again for joining us. This is part three of our AI tools on how to optimize your workforce. So we started out with the general overview of which all AI tools and the general overview of the whole idea. And then further, we have progressed into each of those modules that we talked about initially into further depth. So for the second webinar was based on the voice bot, and then this webinar is based on the chatbot. And then further, we would continue on to the docbot. So if you have missed any of these, you can always go to our YouTube page or where the links are so that you can have a refresher on each of those concepts. So thank you again. I hope this will be a educational webinar for everybody. So yeah. So what we'll be talking about mainly in this webinar is the chatbot. So we are going to focus on what the chatbot is, the applications of the chatbot, different models where we can apply the chatbot. And also I want to show you how this can help, as well as what we do in every webinar. I also want to bring in a sense of putting a value to it. So I want to show you, yes, this actually does reduce. So I'll put actual numbers so that it is not just you think I'm theoretically saying it, but numbers are proof. And I will put numbers to it to show you what is the difference between having an existing setup to having an existing setup, which is a manual process, to a process where it is run by a bot. So yeah, so like Firdausi mentioned initially, if you have any questions, you feel free to put it on the chat at the end of the webinar. We would be happy to answer all these questions. We also do want to answer all these questions, so everyone in the webinar has a good idea of what is happening. So yeah, so let's begin. So these are a few facts I wanted to bring in. So these are a few facts about existing chatbot implementations from reputed companies. So for example, IBM's HR chatbot has reduced the HR tasks by 75%. So what this ideally does is allows the HR organization or the HR team to do focus on more important tasks. So this, in the first example, what you can see is there would be 75% of the tasks which would be redundant tasks in the organization. Now, these tasks are handled by the bot. Now, Telstra, an Australian company has saved around 10 million Australian dollars by deploying Watson. So Watson's Microsoft's assistant to handle internal external queries. So what they have done is they have deployed Watson to create an FAQ bot. So that is another LLM model that we will get into, and I will show you the implementation also as we go through the webinar. So this is also a huge testament on how AI models can reduce workforce and bring down your costs. So it helps the growth of the company as overall. Now, another one is Orion Innovation. They build an AI self-service bots so to address communication. So these are different examples of, and there are many more. These are three of them that I just wanted to show, which are bigger companies, and it has the numbers to it to prove that implementing such solutions will not only help your organization, but also partners. When you show them that this is the benefits that you can get by optimizing your workforce using models like this, it would really help. Yeah. So now, just a brief overview. So, like I mentioned before, astTECS has a whole AI suite. So we have voice bots. Voice bots are conversational bots where you can talk to the bot over the call, and based on your conversation, the bot would reply. It is more like talking to someone, talking to another agent or a person on the phone itself. So you can train that bot to learn specific instances of your organization, answer questions, handle bookings. Similar to a voice bot would be our chat bot, but except it is on text. Now, another advantage of having a chat bot is the fact that you can have rich media based on your platform. So now if your platform supports rich media, for example, SMS does not support rich media, but we can also implement a bot on SMS. But now say you have something like a web chat or a WhatsApp chat. The advantage is you can have services such as you can send billing to customers, you can send photos, you can access their location. So all those possibilities are there. So you have access to rich media in this. And then doc bots. So doc bots are collection bots. So where you can tell the bot to have, say, work on a specific set of data and then collect documents. So for example, I can give a set of phone numbers, and then I can tell the doc bot collect maybe these three documents from the bot. So then what the doc bot would do is it would automatically collect these three documents, and then it would converse with the person. So maybe first it would make a phone call to the person saying, these are the three documents that we would require from you. I will further continue this conversation on WhatsApp where you can share these documents with me. And then it would send the list on WhatsApp, and the person one by one just uploads the list. So the advantage of having a system like this is that now you don't have to have a person sitting and calling the person, making sure the documents are come. Maybe he sends two documents first out of the three. Now someone has to verify, okay, has the three documents come? No, only two documents have come. So then you have to call the person again, ask him for this one extra document. Now what happens is, since the intelligence is built into the conversation itself, what happens is the docbot can understand, and docbot knows that, okay, only these two documents are come. The docbot will ask back, please send your third document. And then another step to this would be the docbot can self-verify documents. So most common government documents can be self-verified. So then we can verify it, or a human can verify it. So this is a huge saving in manpower. So as you can see, just a brief overview of these three topics itself, you're understanding the trend where we are coming, where you are optimizing your workforce, you are reducing costs, you're increasing your scalability, you're increasing your flexibility, so, and you're increasing your efficiency. So you can think of these as the principal keywords that would take you through this. So even when you want to think about implementing a system for your organization, you can always think of, will it improve my efficiency? Will this system allow me to scale? Will this improve my productivity? And what effect does it have on my cost? So obviously, because cost is a huge factor, that is one of the questions you should ask yourself when before you start implementing systems like this. So, but 100% when these systems are implemented, you will see a cost benefit as well. So if these four questions are answered well to you, you can blindly just go set up a bot, and you will see the benefits. So let's start off with today's topic. So today's topic, we're focusing on chatbots. So now, like I mentioned before, chatbots are conversational bots that happen on text. So text, as in, it could be any platform. It could be, say, WhatsApp. It could be a web chat. It could be SMS. It could be any other platform where we can integrate, and the platform allows us to do this functionality. So now, key points about chatbots are that they use natural language. So we can develop chatbots where as it is similar to texting or messaging a person, because the chatbot can understand natural language, where you don't even have to. It is not the olden time chatbots where it would search for keywords and then understand what it is. You can frame sentences like you would talk to a person, like we are talking right now. And this communication, but over text, obviously, but this communication would the chatbot would understand and then respond. Now, chatbots are used in various contexts, such as customer service, information retrieval, entertainment, booking. So all those examples, based on the different types of chatbots that we are going to talk about, we will take it one by one. So each type of chatbot, I have a set of examples that I'll bring through, so that it is in these verticals you can use these chatbots. So, like I mentioned, there are different types of chatbots. Now, what are these different types of chatbots? There is a rule-based chatbot, an LLM-based chatbot, and an LLM stands for large language model, and an NLP-based chatbot. NLP is natural language processing. So these three are the main, or the broader classification of chatbots, where any chatbot that is built can be grouped into one of these three. And it is not that it is a hardbound group. Each of these chatbots can be, say, cross used, where maybe an NLP chatbot has a rule based implementation in it in some part of the conversation, or an NLP chatbot has an LLM. So you can think of your NLP chatbot as a superset or the bigger picture. And now an LLM chatbot is one section of it. And then the rule-based chatbot is a smaller section of the LLM-based chatbot. So as the circle increases, the knowledge of the bot also increases. The amount the bot can do, or the amount the bot can do also uh, becomes better. So let's look at rule-based chatbots. Now, what are rule-based chatbots? Rule-based chatbots are basically menu-based chatbots. It is more like in your on the, if you're familiar with telephony, earlier you had you do still have DTMF where you can say press one for this, press two for this, press three for this. Similar to that, here you're asking a question and the responses are fixed responses where you would have, for example, if you see on your right side, you have which business do you want to explore today, and then we have three types of solutions. Now this is the bot that we have built on WhatsApp, where it is a strictly menu based bot. So you choose one of those solutions, and based on your response the bot would reply. So it is a trigger based operation where based on what you send, so you don't have an option to type what you want, or the bot doesn't have a lot of intelligence to it. Rather, it is just comparing what has happened, and then we have written rules where we say that if cloud is pressed, then go to this part of the program. So it is a very fixed method. So
Pooja,
these are this is the most basic implementation of a bot, and like I mentioned, as we go through it, we will see larger and more smarter implementations of bots. So now, where are these rule-based chatbots used? Now, rule-based chatbots could be used in online stores where you have fixed items. So, in an online store, you have fixed items where, say, you have bread, you have eggs, you have jam. Now, these are the only things that you are offering to your clients. So, based on that, it
AI
could
chatbot voice record is
so
fantastic.
so based on that, it would act. So now, if also table reservation also, it could be a very basic chatbot that could be used. You don't need a high-end chatbot because almost the information that you need on this side is fixed. It is maybe table reservation. You need the how many guests are there, when is the time you want the table. So these are data that you need, and these are fixed data. There's no changing to it. Same similar to online stores, you have food ordering, order status. So now even if you are an online store and you want to know your order status, or this is a customer support bot, if it is only servicing order status, what we could do is we could it can ask welcome to the online store, welcome to say Amazon, for example. To know your order status, click on order status. So now when I click on order status, or it can say how may I help you today, order status, refund. So based on that, it would act. Now CSAT is a very popular implementation of this, where CSAT is your customer feedback. So when you have feedback surveys, you generally want them to scale, you want them to rate based on a certain scale, where you have things like hope you liked your experience with your customer support. Select how would you rate your experience from 1 to 5. So we can display this 1 to 5, and then the customer would press it. It's not that you don't want the customer to, some customers to have a scale of 1 to 5, but another customer having a scale of 1 to 100, where the customer just enters a random number, because you want the scale within what you're going to measure. So that is why CSAT is a very popular option for menu-based bots. Similar to that, surveys. So you would have seen surveys even when you're browsing YouTube, where is this YouTube does quick surveys. So these quick surveys are also menu-based bots in certain terms, where you have how is this ad beneficial to you? Strongly agree, disagree. So what happens is, where systems where they have normalized it and they want measurable quantities, which are fixed measurable quantities, you have menu based bots. Even examples that are not here would be customer service, where you have customer service in terms of you have a set of products. Now these products could be you just want to register the request. saying, for example, you are an electronics store where you have a fridge, washing machine, and a TV. Now, you want the people, you want to allow your consumers to at any point come and register an issue or register a ticket so that your customer service team can take over after that. So what happens is this becomes your first level. Now, menu-based bots itself at its most basic level you saves in manpower. For example, even the customer service bot. Now, if it is just registering a ticket, imagine the number of options that or number of calls that would come or number of chat conversations that a person would have to handle to just to register the ticket. Now, it doesn't have to stop at registering a ticket. Maybe there could be a standard FAQ that is sent after that. So maybe I say my laptop is not booting up, so it could be, say, he selects what device does your issue, what is the device with the issue? I select laptop. Now, based on that, what will happen is I can we can list a set of questions and say, is this any of the problems? So the most common questions, and then if it gets solved at that level, congratulations. So you're saving on one person sitting for maybe 5 minutes to solve that problem. Now, scale this to a size where you have hundreds and 200 of calls. Now, 200 calls or 200 chats, which suddenly become just maybe 10 or 20 calls, which cannot be serviced by the bot because the bot doesn't know it. So the bots are always developed so that there is always scope for a human intervention in the middle. So a human can intervene anytime, or it can pass to the human when it doesn't know what to do. So the next type of chatbot that we have is the LLM based chatbot. So LLMs are large language models. So what we do is you can train the LLM, you can train the bot to learn information of your organization. So this is where the bot becomes smarter, but this is not yet the smartest version of the bot that we have. So this is in, say, the average level where the bot can understand what the person is saying. So you can have a conversation with the bot. Unlike before, where you couldn't have a conversation with the bot, in this case, you can have a conversation with the bot, and then you can train the bot. So what happens is you can tell the bot, okay, so this is my resort. I have a swimming pool. I have my resort dinner timings are from this time to this time, and this is a file that you would just upload to the bot, and then the bot would learn on this. So what that would do is anytime someone comes and asks, for example, as you can see on your right side, anytime someone comes and asks, is there a pool? The bot already knows the answer to it. And like I mentioned before, since it is on a messaging platform, if the messaging platform supports rich media, it can always say, yes, we have an infinity pool. Here is a picture of the infinity pool. Or can I go on adventure trips? Now, the reason why I have put this example also is that when someone asks, can I go on adventure trips? It says, sorry, I could not understand this. So now that is because the bot does not know the answer to that question. Now, instantly, what the bot would do is the bot would, on your support side, create a ticket, and then your person can answer it. Now, when your person answers it, we can also set it up that when the person answers the ticket or handles the ticket, we feed it back to the bot's knowledge base so that next time someone asks a question like this, we can have the bot already know the answer. So that is where I mentioned you can always switch. Now, you have to think of these bots as a smart employee. So it is an employee. So like your employees, the amount of knowledge you give it is on what it will act. So you shouldn't think that the bot would just get knowledge when you're restricting the bot to learn based on organizational data, which is suggested as well. It would always, if it doesn't know the answer, it would say it doesn't know the answer. Obviously, we can connect the bot to, say, other systems, like say we can always connect the bot to other systems such as say GPT or OpenAI, where it would answer anything. Now, the disadvantage you would have there is that you have no control over what the response of the bot would be. The bot would obviously give a response, but now, since you are an organization and you are telling the client this, you have a liability of telling the correct answer. Now, if you open it to the internet and say, okay, find any answer and bring it, what happens is you're not very sure what the answer is going to be. In this case, you're very sure what the answer is going to be because you gave the bot the answers. Now the bot is just taking your answers and then giving it to the customer. And like I mentioned before, it does not have to be fixed text where it does not have to be, is there a pool? And that is the only answer. Maybe in your knowledge base that you have uploaded, you're just saying, yes, there is an infinity pool at the resort from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Now, since the person asked, is there a pool? The bot is saying, yes, there is a pool. Now, for example, if someone asked, what are the pool timings? That is also there in the knowledge base. So then the bot would automatically go and then tell, yes, the pool timing is from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. So it is the better you give the knowledge base, the better the bot can understand what is happening. So few use cases of these would be tutoring. So tutoring where the tutor has, say, for example, nowadays tutors have class notes and various other information. So what they can do is as a supplementary material or as the main tutoring itself, where students can go, they can say, I'm doing 12th standard science. Now 12th grade science, I have few questions. There is a bot or a web-based platform or a WhatsApp-based platform where the student can go and ask any questions at once. And the bot would have already, we would have already trained the bot on the data of 12th grade science. So maybe the bot child has a doubt about photosynthesis. Now, the child can always go and ask, can you please explain photosynthesis to me again? So then the bot would neatly explain photosynthesis, and maybe if there are pictures to support that as well, the bot will send those pictures as well. So the advantage is the student doesn't have to go through the whole textbook, it's reading material, this, that. He gets instant answers. Now, product recommendation. So you can bring out product recommendations where the person says, um, I have so and so as my preferences. What do you suggest? So then based on the knowledge base that we train the bot and based on those conditions, we would suggest products. Now, virtual health assistants, if you're when you create a knowledge base where, for example, you have first aid. Now, sorry, when you have first aid, maybe in a first aid scenario, you can say, for example, there is a snake bite. Now, how many of us know what to do in a snake bite? But if you had, say, a support number, maybe the 108 number is also there on chat where you can ask what is the first aid for a snake bite. It would give you a step-by-step instruction which you could do, or maybe something like what are the steps for CPR or anything like that. So your first level, or you have a deep wound, how do I stop clotting? Now all these can be trained to the bot, and it just said when you have something like, well, related to health and all, you want the bot to have a limited access because you want to make sure the answers you give are pure and 100% true. Now, financial advice as well. So we can connect the bot to different platforms. Now, if these platforms are controlled by you and vetted answers, we can. So maybe I can ask, what is the stock price of, say, so and so company today, and then the bot would answer it. So it also becomes as if you're a finance person and you have an assistant where you keep asking, what is the rate of this, what is the change in this, all that this bot can answer. Now, employee support. Employee support is also something in the initial example that we saw where IBM implemented. This is one of the modules that IBM implemented where you had employee support, where your most frequently asked questions, maybe where do I get my Form 16 or any other more frequently asked questions that would be generally handled by the HR department, could be handled by this bot. So um, what the advantage of this is, like we mentioned before, and similar to the IBM example, you are freeing up your employees to do more effective work. Now, knowledge base access. So in culmination of all this is the fact that you have knowledge base access. So you have a vast access to data, and it is how you model this data that shows you that gives you the answers. Mm. Yeah, so those are the use cases for this. And there is also another portion to this where you have continuous learning. So like I mentioned in the previous example where it did not know what adventure trips were, and then you taught the bot. So there is a whole system to feed it back into the knowledge base, and then the bot would learn. So it is the bots that are developed by us, you can also set it up in such a way that it is not a static model. It is continuously learning. It is throughout time, it's going to improve itself based on more data passed to it. So all that is possible. Say, for example, you link the bot to your website and you upgrade your website, the bot can relearn the whole thing. So those are possibilities of the bot. Now, NLP based bots. So NLP based bots is where the real smartness comes. So like I mentioned before, your menu based bots are the smallest circle. Then on top of that comes your LLM based bots, and then on top of that would come your NLP based bots. So NLP based bots are natural language bots. Now this is where it gets really interesting. Now NLP based bots can understand much more than just reply to question and answers. Now, NLP based bots, NLP based bots, obviously, we can link NLP based bots and LLM based bots so that you can understand natural language and reply to customer inquiries. But at the same time, NLP based bots, you can have systems like, for example, the rooms. So now, say, for example, you are going to book a room in a hotel. Now, a room in a hotel you would basically need a few parameters. Now, what would these parameters be? It would be your check-in date, your checkout date, your number of guests, your number of rooms, and your room type. Now, in a menu-based bot, how this would work is you would have to go with the flow. Maybe the bot would ask you first, when is your check-in date? Then it'll ask you when is your checkout date. And at each question, you would have to give only that relevant answer. Now, what happens in an NLP based bot is you are not restricted to what order you give the data or nothing like that. So, for example, if you see, in the example here, I would like to book a room tomorrow for 3 guests. Now, what happens is the bot automatically knows my check-in date is tomorrow. My It is for 3 guests. So out of the 5 parameters, 2 parameters already done, which is the check-in date and the number of guests. Now the bot would just need to know the checkout date, the number of rooms, and checkout date, number of rooms. I think, okay, maybe 4 parameters: checkout date and number of rooms. So these are the two pending parameters that the bot would need to know. Similarly, I could also phrase this question saying that I would like to book the luxury suite for tomorrow for 3 guests. Now what happens is the bot would ask, bot knows this room is the luxury room. It is for tomorrow. It is for 3 guests. It just needs to know when is the checkout. So the bot would intelligently fill data based on the sentences that you have mentioned, and then fill data based on the sentences that you have mentioned, and then handle the rest of it. So that is a booking form. So it could be different things like this. It could be a booking form, it could be a table reservation. So this is where, so like I mentioned, LLM based bots were where you had average level of intelligence. NLP based bots are where you have the full-fledged intelligence. Now, it also keeps context. So keeping context is very important. Now, for example, I have a resort with different locations. Maybe I have a resort in location A, B, and C. Now, when it can be 2 levels of entry. Say, for example, I'm initially talking to the bot and I ask the bot, tell the bot I am looking for information of hotel A. Now, when I say, is there a pool? The bot should know that which hotel I'm talking about. So the bot maintains its memory, and the bot understands that me as a user, Abu, messaging on this bot is currently asking about hotel A. So does hotel A have a pool? And then it would answer. Similarly, it could be from, say, the web interface where you are looking at, say, a specific page, and then you come to the bot and then you want to know more information. You can always talk to the bot, and the bot understands that you are talking about that hotel. So the bot is smart to keep memory, and maintaining context in the bot is a very valuable set of features that you have. So yeah, so it is not just this. Even things like, if you it's a bot for a hospital. Now in a bot for a hospital, maybe I'm the patient, but in my phone number there are multiple patients. So I say, my name is Abu Kurian. So Abu Kurian's medical records and all data would be based so on Abu Kurin's medical records, where it would be what was my last sugar level when I checked. So now the bot has to really understand that when I say mine, it is Abu Kurin's. So it maintains context, so which is very important. Now, where these bots would be used. These bots would be used, say, in a booking instance, anywhere where you want to have conversation. So it would allow you to have free flowing conversation with the system, and it can be also used in support where, like I mentioned in the menu based bot where you had fixed things, you don't have to do that. You can have say for example, you can have the bot come and say things like I can go and say my laptop is not turning on. So now the bot already knows the problem is with the laptop. It is not turning on. The bot can give suggestive steps. Or my route, there is no internet connection on the router. So then what the bot would do is the bot would understand that it is the problem is the internet connection. The device is the router. Uh, it will first try its first set of troubleshooting steps. Maybe that is not possible. Maybe try the second set of steps. Maybe that is also not possible. Then it would go to customer support and actually connect with the person. So, like I mentioned before, all these bots at any point, we can transfer this conversation to a human. So it could be that when you're doing a booking at any leg of the booking, transfer the bot call to a human. It could be, say, in customer support. It could be in terms of a hospital, in terms of an appointment booking. So there is a vast application. So anywhere where you think today that there is a lot of manpower being used, but for the same task or for tasks that actually could be optimized, it is ideal to think of having a bot. So just ask yourself the 4 questions, and that's it. If your 4 questions are satisfied, well and good. So now how do these bots help? So firstly, the bots are 24/7 available. The bots don't take holidays, the bots don't have sick leaves, the bots don't have to go to sleep. Now, what this means is you don't have to have a set of people working overnight or working in a second shift or working so where you have a dependency on people where now what can happen is your customers that come and ask you inquiries in the night, these customers can also be serviced. It's just that maybe if the booking, you link your booking also, these customers can be serviced, payment can be taken, all that process. So you're not losing a customer, you're instantly replying to them. So which is the second point where you have instant reply. Um, what I mean by instant reply is the fact that you have very quick responses. So in general, when you have say a call center of or a support center of say 100 people, now what happens is your support center is 100 people, but now you have 120 inquiries. Maybe each person can only handle one inquiry. Now what happens is that 20 people are waiting there for support. But what if the bot handled your first level of support? If that happened, then you would have instant response. So no customer is left waiting. So quick response and no waiting time. Now integrate with other solutions and platforms. This is a very strong element where you can integrate with other solutions in terms of where your bot is going to interact with the customer or the customer facing side, where it can be multiple platforms such as WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, uh, maybe a web chat itself, or maybe a chat on your internal application. It could be on your website, but also things like it could integrate with say your delivery software or your ticketing software or any other software where it is to create requests. So WhatsApp, Facebook, all that is your customer facing side. On your backend it could be other systems. So for example, say you want to know the order number. So to know the order number, it can connect to another platform and then get the order number from there, which makes it a much stronger solution where you can connect to different third-party systems to get information or to send information. So like I mentioned before, you have a customer-facing site, which it could be a web, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, any or web or a plugin in your own self-made application. And then on the back end also, we can connect to different platforms. Maybe you have tickets on any of the desk software such as Zoho Desk, Zendesk, Freshdesk. So all those integrations are possible and are integrations that we have done. Now, eliminating human error. Now, like I mentioned before, the amount you teach the bot is what the bot will say. It is not that the bot would say something out of the blue. Now, what this does is that you have no chance, or there is a very minimal chance, or almost nil chance of the bot saying something that it is not a correct answer, where the bot would not say anything that it is not taught. Now, multiple platforms, like I mentioned before, when you're integrating, you can integrate with the client's facing side as well as the your any of the ticketing software. Now, what this does is it improves overall customer satisfaction. Now, when I say improving overall customer satisfaction, you are showing the customer that you care. You can service them 24/7. They are not waiting for a response. It is on a familiar channel. You There is very less chance of your bot saying something wrong. Now, apart from these solutions, now when we talk about how this also reduces or optimizes your workforce, optimizes workforce, obviously now based on these 6 points, we understand that you would not need that many support staff to handle your inquiries. You would not need that many support staff to handle your inquiries. What that overall does is bring down your scalability. No, sorry, bring up your scalability, bring down your costs. Now, in terms of scalability, say you have 30 people handling chats today. Now to have and you have maybe 30 to 40 chats that are coming, and you got a new client and now suddenly you have 100 chats. You can't instantly scale up with a manual process because of the overheads and the logistical issues there, where you have to hire, you have to set up the office to support that, you have to set up the network, you have to on the bot platform. It is nothing like that. If your current server doesn't support it, it is as simple as upgrading it and you're good to go. So it is almost instantly you can scale up your organization. Now, as an organizational owner, you would also be thinking of scaling and what would be the steps when I'm scaling. So this would be a very valuable resource for you. So now we have seen how bots help cutting costs, how bots help in scalability, how bots optimize your overall workforce. So yeah, so now initially when I mentioned the three suits, the astTECS AI suite, it is that we have also developed this system in such a way that you can merge solutions, where you can have the chatbot and the voice bot as a merged solution. For example, now say yours is a chatbot. Now your for we can start with the chatbot example. When the chat, say you're messaging someone on the chatbot, and now the chatbot, you want to say click, if you anytime you want to talk to an agent, click on call an agent. Now when you call an agent, it would connect to your agent as well as a customer. Now if you want the same call to connect to a bot as well, that is also possible. So you can connect your chatbot and voice bot. Now think of it in the other angle, which is something we talked about in the last webinar as well, where, say for example, you are on a call and you are, say, having a it is a car sales. Now in this car sales, the person asks, I'm talking and I'm like, what are the features for this car? The bot says, yes, for sure, I will send you the brochure on your WhatsApp. You can go through the brochure. So on call itself, I have my phone with me. I can see the brochure, and then based on the brochure, I can also ask further questions. Now what happens is your customers, you're feeding your customer data, which also results to quick returns. Now you can also integrate the chatbot and the docbot. So the docbot primarily runs on chat platforms where it does do systems like this, but also docbot is focused purely on data collection. Now, just not data collection, maybe say you ask someone, I need these three documents. Now the person can always ask, why do you need my passport for this? And then the bot can explain, yes, your passport is required because of we need it for this verification. Or maybe it could be something like maybe it is a passport number or a specific element in the passport or your driver's license number, which maybe you don't know how to get. Now the bot can always be like, you can ask, how do I get this number? And then we can maybe even share a picture of a sample and then highlight where the number would be. So these are possibilities. Or think of it where you need to go sign and I collect and sign an application form and then upload it. So you can ask maybe what are the office timings when I can collect these forms. So you are making the docbot also smarter, integrating it with the chatbot. So you can cross connect, and it is not that it's just the chatbot and doc voice bot and then chatbot and docbot. All these solutions can be mixed and matched to give you smarter and better solutions. Mm. So now let's compare costs. Now when like I mentioned before, I've always, throughout the whole series, I've always put numbers so that everyone knows what we're actually talking about. So it is how it benefits you. So for example, now you have, say, a chat process or a chat support center or a support center that does chat. Now you have 100 agents. Now you get more than 100 chat conversations. So if you need 100 agents, now what happens is that each agent's salary is, say, 15,000 rupees. So that would amount to 15 lakhs a month in salaries itself. Now with that, you have other office expenditures and maintenance, water, electricity, setting computers, all that. So ultimately your expense for that process would be 25,000 25 lakhs for it. Now at the same time, say you implement a chatbot solution. In your chatbot solution you have 10 agents. So the reason why I have put 10 agents here is that, as I mentioned before, you can always have the bot go back and then look at the solution, or understand, go back and feed it to the person saying, I don't know what the answer for this is. Can you help this customer out? So those are the 10 specialized people that I have kept there, which can be lesser. So in that case you have 15,000 rupees um, per person, and that's 1.5 lakhs. Now, in the 1.5 lakhs, again, we can calculate the whole office expenditure, all that. That would be another 10,000 rupees into 10 agents. And then you would have chatbot conversation. So say average after setup, each conversation would cost you, say, about 5 rupees. So ultimately, it comes up to 3 lakhs for the same application, or the same effect, same, not actually the same effect, but a better effect in terms of your customer satisfaction, because of the fact that each of your customers are getting served faster, getting served better, getting the right answers, reduced errors. So it is a better solution, and it is a cheaper solution. So generally that is not the case. So generally what we look at is, if you buy, say, a fancy high-end car, the fancy high-end car is more features, more comfort, more everything, compared to a average car. But in this case, what you can see is, it is the cheaper solution, but it is the more feature rich solution. So that is where this whole change in our workforce and change in our the way we think should come about, where it is a cheaper solution and it will take you the long term. So that is that is the whole summary which I wanted to talk about. And what we can do is, I will always now we can open the floor to doubts, and then we can go through it one by one. Thank you. What I will do is, I am also adding a number in the chat. Please feel free to go through the number. This is one of our bot numbers. So if you can, it'll make you comfortable with the solution as well. And then based on that, you just have to send a hi to this number, and then the bot would automatically start a conversation with you. I will just paste it on the chat as well. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Abu, for the wonderful presentations and taking us through how the AI chatbot will help in the workforce optimizations and reduce the cost. I hope all the participant has a very informative sessions. Now, let's move on to the question and answer. We have a couple of questions which is coming to us. The first question is, okay, please share a training to us after. That is come from Garnet. Yeah, I already replied that you will be sharing the recording sessions and the PPT after the webinar. So the first question has come from Mr. Binish. Is there any limitation in the levels of menus? Also, can we add multiple medias in the bot like video, image, links, etc.?
Okay, so in terms of limitation on menus, it would purely depend on what kind of platform you're using. For example, when you have if you're implementing it on a platform like WhatsApp, you have limitation of 3 buttons, and then if you want more options, you have to move to a list. But if it is a web application and then it is designed by you, then you can define what your limitations are. So limitations would purely depend on what kind of platform it is. And can you also add multiple medias like video, images? Similar to my previous answer, it would purely depend on what kind of platform you're working with, and what is the client-facing platform, and does that platform support these things? Now, if the platform supports it, yes, we can definitely do this. And just not video, image, links, we can send documents, maybe something like an invoice after payment or a booking confirmation. So you can do documents, you can have carousel. So also what we'll do is there is going to be up sometime soon there's also going to be a webinar based on our new WhatsApp based platform itself. So we will release the schedules for those. So that would also show you the rich number of rich number of media or rich number of multiple medias that you can access and flows and all that. So that would be another webinar purely by itself.
Okay, understood. But WhatsApp, you're telling only 3 buttons. Then
Three
other
buttons are then,
platforms, you can have any number of.
yeah, no. So other platforms, as in, I'm not saying Twitter will allow it, but I'm saying if Twitter allows it. So it could be, say you're making a web-based platform that is designed by you.
Yeah, yeah.
Then what
Assume
happens
we are
is
having
then
it
you
on our
can do it.
website.
Yeah,
Then we can have any number of buttons. And each button can have submenus, right? In WhatsApp also, we can have submenus,
yeah, you can
menus
have
and sub.
submenu.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Abu. Okay, before proceeding to the next questions, I would request all the participants, if you have any query, you can put it in a chat box or you can unmute yourself and then ask the questions directly so that we can have one-to-one discussions. Next question has come from Mr. Christopher. In Malaysia, we have a Personal Data Protection Act. How can we protect from their third party from accessing a personal data in the event of hospital implement AI chatbots?
Yeah, so so what we could do is this so see, third party, it is all, see, WhatsApp by itself is end-to-end encrypted. Now, accessing the personal records, it is what access to the records that the hospital provides us. Maybe the hospital doesn't provide us the whole medical record, but it provides us only specific access to it. So depending on what APIs, so see, it is always controlled by what kind of APIs the hospital or the hospital's network team provides us. So we can, based on that, we can always restrict access. And maybe you can have some level of security where only, say, access my medical records, it has to be from my registered phone number, it can't be from any other phone number. So that all those rules can be put into place for this.
Okay, thank you. I hope, Mr. Christopher, what your query has been answered.
Yes. Yes.
Moving to the next, yeah, tell me, Mr. Christopher.
Yeah, he answered the question. Thanks.
Okay. Next comes from Mr. Nikhil. Is it a service or a product? He joined, so he missed a few of the starting of the webinar. Can it be white labeled?
So again, so it depends on really what platform it is. So if it is WhatsApp, obviously there is no labeling to it. It is the WhatsApp label. But now say it is you're giving it to a client side and you want the want it to be labeled somewhere else, yes, we can always talk about white labeling this product. So it is a product.
Okay, I hope Mr. Nikhil, we have answered your question. If you have any further questions, you can unmute and ask. The next question is from Mr. Ajit. Is hi, this product can be used to open auditorium? I'm not sure what question he's been referring to.
Mr. Ajit, if you could just come online and elaborate on it, we would be happy to.
Okay, maybe. Okay, we will answer to Mr. Ajit questions later on once he clarified or elaborate his questions. Moving to the next question, Mr. from Taufik. Do you have to use internet data for the chatbot, or is it a local network infrastructure?
No, so again, so you would have to use internet data. Your obviously a server would have to be hosted somewhere because your customers are interacting not. So if it is say something where it is a for example, it is a bot that is purely inside an organization and everyone's connected to the organization's network, you can run it through LAN itself. But say something like WhatsApp or any of those services where the server is somewhere else, you have to have internet access on your server to have this bot conversation. So it would be the person sends a message, it would hit WhatsApp server, WhatsApp would send it to us, and then we would process the data, send it back to WhatsApp, and then WhatsApp would send it to your client. So it is uh, it purely depends on what kind of platform it is. So if it is a local platform where you have maybe it's an office internal chat bot or things like that, yes, it can run on LAN. There's no requirement that it always has to be on needs internet.
Okay. Uh, okay. So we have display our chatbot number. So if anybody wants to try it, demo, you can say hi to our chatbot number, and the bot will be answering to your questions. The next question has come from Mr. Vincent. How are these bots being programmed to follow certain AI ethics standards that would avoid providing certain sensitive topic or answers?
Okay, so Mr. Wilson, like I mentioned before, the data that the bot provides can be from different sources. So you can have a bot which is purely learning based on what data you give it. So if it is that kind of data, then you have control over it. So when you have control over it, you are making sure the bot does not touch sensitive topics or do anything like that. Now, if you open the bot to the internet and then you tell the bot, okay, go ahead and find me answers, then you have no control over it. What that eventually leads to is you really don't know what the bot would answer. But otherwise, yes. So it purely depends on how you train the bot. It's like saying you teach, it is a child's upbringing is based on how you teach the child. So it is you teach the bot good things, the bot will always say good things. But if you will tell the bot go out in the world and learn and then come back, then you really don't know what the bot is going to learn and come back.
Okay. I hope, Mr. Vincent, your question has been answered. The next question has come again from Mr. Taufik. What strategy do you use to increase the user engagement with the chatbot?
So the chatbot is more user initiated. The chatbot doesn't go out and say trigger. So we are not looking at chatbots where it does do say some kind of marketing activity or anything like that. It is more the user comes and asks questions. But obviously, if required, we can also develop the bot where if say for example the person doesn't answer in some time, then we go ahead and maybe trigger the bot can trigger asking, okay, you were on this, is there any difficulty? Maybe it's a booking process and then the bot says, okay, you are booking and you haven't replied in half an hour. Do you have any difficulty regarding this? I can help you out. So these are all customizable options that we can do. It is not something that's there in the general package or the general bot sphere, but based on that, so there are multiple other methods like this. So based on what your organization needs, we can customize it based on that.
Okay. Thank you, Abu. The next questions comes from Mr. Kanan. Will the AI chatbot replace a human customer support agents, or do you foresee a hybrid approach?
So Kanan, I think currently we do foresee a hybrid approach because you can obviously run the bot by itself. Now, but there is till we reach a stage where we can completely depend on the bot. Yes, I do always see a hybrid approach to this, where even in the cost calculation, I've still put 10 people because there could be some place where the bot doesn't know what it has to say and a human has to step in. We are talking about optimization and not workforce like firing everybody, but we're talking about optimization. So you are optimizing an organization's efforts.
Okay. Okay, there is a direct questions from Kanan partner. Just hold on a moment. His question is, how do you secure the chatbot communication channel, especially when handling a sensitive or a financial data?
Okay, so like I mentioned before, it is purely dependent on the organization. So see, if the bot has the bot for the bot to communicate with the person or with your third party system, say it's a financial data or anything like that, it is APIs provided by the system. It is not that the bot can just go and grab it. It is the organization gives us access to this kind of data. Now, that is one level of security where your APIs are restricted, but we can also have things like I mentioned before, where you have registered numbers, or maybe that we can also have a login in the chatbot itself if that is required. So we can have login, we can have an OTP. Any of those options can. You can have a higher level of security depending on the use case of the bot.
Okay, thank you, Abu. I hope the question has been answered. Uh, okay, Mr. Taufik has one more question. Can you discuss a time when you had to troubleshoot a chatbot and how you approached the issue?
Yeah, so see, we have had multiple instances where we had to troubleshoot the chatbot because it is not that a chatbot is one time implement and it works, because when you once you implement the chatbot, what happens is there is a period of time where you and us and the client interact with each other, because there is a lot of fine tuning, not just troubleshooting but also fine tuning, because we have to get the whole scenario right. So what we do is we interact with the client, we see what the flow is, we see how we can work out where the bot also gives these answers. So how the approach is would depend on what kind of problem it would be. Maybe it could be as simple as the bot is not sending media, or the bot is not sending media. Now we look into what kind of media it is. Is it a supported media? So it could be things as simple as that to the bot, maybe giving. So we have maybe giving, say, a different value for asked question. Now, when we looked deeper into the knowledge base, that was one of the values that was placed over there. So it is that when that time what we noticed is there was a conflict of values. So it purely depends on what kind of issue there is.
Okay, I hope Mr. Taufik, okay, he has your question has been answered. If you have any further questions, you can unmute and ask. He
Like he
has
has
another
he has
question. How
another
do you
question.
ensure the security and privacy of user data in the chatbot?
So user data is, say for example, if you're using the WhatsApp chatbot, user data is end-to-end encrypted by WhatsApp. We don't store the data. There is a logging mechanism that if the client requires, we store all the data, we bring in the chat so that the client can see it, and then that is a whole different portal, secure portal, where the clients have access. You can have different hierarchies in that portal. But otherwise, it can also be that in our case, if it is just the chatbot interacting, the chatbot really doesn't store any data. The chatbot processes data, gets the answer, and sends it back. There is no storage of data unless required by the client.
Okay. Mr. Taufik, you have any further question? You can unmute and ask. And this comes the last questions for this session. If anybody has any particular questions, you can unmute and ask or put it in the chat box before we wrap up. So looks like that no further questions is there. Okay. Thank you all the participants once again for joining us for this AI tool webinar series. If you have missed out the other previous series, you can just go to our astTECS YouTube channels and watch it, our AI tools webinar series. Regarding the other webinars, we have already sent you the recording sessions and the presentations. We will be also sharing the webinar recording sessions for this webinar and the presentation as well. You can check it in the inbox. If you have any further questions regarding the products, or if you have any requirement, you can contact us at info@astix.com, or you can reach out to your regional managers who can help you out with the product details and the implementations. So thank you everyone. So till the next webinar, we will meet again. Till then, thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.